Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Edmonds Racing Weekly Show. Today, we are joined by just Trent today. Toby away, so Trent's going to join us to run through his or their runners for the weekend. Recap a great week for the stable, Trent, where mate, you had 7 runners, 2 winners, I think a second, a third, or maybe 2 seconds, a third, and a fifth. So horses running extremely well and extremely consistently, mate.
Yeah, that's right. And I suppose that's the name of the game, and that's something that we try and do. We don't like to, not going to win all the time, we know that, but we don't like to run them sort of for a waste a run. So try to place every horse as good as we can. Whether that means we've got to take them, push somewhere to try and win a race, or they're up to metro level. We'll basically take them anywhere to win as long as they appear to be placed well. And nice quality horses, good rides always help.
Yeah, for sure. 7 runners it was, 2 winners, a second, 2 thirds, a fourth, and a fifth all up. So a really good week. So far, 8 winners for the season from 29 runners, striking at 27%. So things certainly ticking over nicely there, mate. Doing a great job. This week we are at 3 meetings, as we were last week. You're going to Eagle Farm on Saturday, Gold Coast on Saturday, and a few chances there at the Sunny Coast on Sunday. Let's kick off at Eagle Farm first, mate. Saturday, good 4. It's a 9-race card. We've got 1 acceptor there, an interesting acceptor. In race 1, the Class 3 plate over 1,000 metres, you've got Fisticuffs. Drawn beautifully. Jay Huxtable takes off the 2 kilos. This horse, mate, owned by Tommy Rodonicus, and Singo has always shown a little bit of ability. He is 2 from 3, first up, which is a nice tick in that box. You've kept them fresh. He's had just the 1 trial, 1,000 metres here. I thought what was interesting was Robbie Frad rode him in the trial and thought the trial was good, but he's on Materi here. Did Frad have the option of riding Fisticuffs?
Yeah, he did. We just decided to go. It was our decision to put a claimer on. Put Justin on. Horse is not overly big. He's a bomb fresh. He's extremely good fresh. Just off the back of 1 sort of soft trial, 1,000 metres. In these Class 3 plates, I hate some of these horses that continually have to carry like big weights. And as you know, by sort of chatting throughout his last preparation, he was getting hammered in those handicaps with 59 and 60 kilos through that region racing that he was sort of racing through last preparation. And I just don't think it done him any good, basically. So planned from a long way out to claim a couple of kilos. Another thing I did take note of, obviously watched Justin a fair bit ride, and he's had a couple of rides for us and ridden well, was he's a very strong whip rider and in the right hand for this horse, because he has had a tendency to want to lay in and throw his races away a bit at times. So what I'm saying is his race record probably should read a lot better than it does, because he's got a high amount of ability. I'm just hopeful that a good, strong, right-handed whip rider can bring the best out of him, so he doesn't lug in, at the business end. And going good, we give him a fairly soft trial. They jogged and sprinted home, and that's what made him pull a little bit in behind them. And Robbie was quite kind on him up the running. So his work's been super sense, and he'd be. I'm going to go early. He'd be no doubt our best for the weekend. He's fine.
Yeah, wow. Okay, well, you kicked off early last week with Mondina and filled the pockets of the viewers. So Fisticuffs sounds like he's going to be the best bet of this weekend. He is the 3rd pick, I think, in the race, or second equal anyway with Materi, around about the $3.50 chance as we speak. So for those of you watching, if you want to get the early price, that might be the way to go with Fisticuffs there at Eagle Farm Race 1. All right, Gold Coast Saturday, a few runners here at the home track, a good 4 track. It's been beautiful weather up here in Queensland, absolutely outstanding. 4 acceptors here across 3 races, kicking off again in race 1, a 3-year-old maiden over 1,400 metres. Purnell, very well bred colt by Vinny at Of Course I Can. He was okay, fresh up behind Super Effort, who was a nice winner there. at the Sunshine Coast. You would have thinking being a 3-year-old big burly colt, he'll improved a lot fitness-wise from that first up run. He's 3 weeks between runs up to 1,400 metres. Looks a winnable race outside of Magic Conqueror, the clear danger.
Yeah, definitely agree. Colt that we've got a bit of time for, and we'll continue to probably look to step him up in journey. I think I made mention on a show or two prior to this that he's out of a half to a Victoria Derby winner, a Spring Champion winner, half to Monaco Consul. So even though he's an I'm Invincible, he's probably not your typical I'm Invincible. He looks every bit like he's going to want ground and going to get over ground, so we'll afford him that opportunity. Second up to 1,400. I don't see it as a concern. I think he'll park up on speed somewhere there, could even lead these potentially, and then prove pretty difficult to run down. I think while he's not at his peak just yet, he's taken pretty significant improvement from that first effort, which on paper, you look at an expensive and a high price buy at the sales. Colt by Vinny getting beaten on a Sunday at the Sunshine Coast, but they run very quick time on that occasion, and he was first up. He's improved. He'll give a hell of a sight tomorrow. I'd be pretty disappointed if he wasn't fighting the finish out with improvement to come once we sort of get to a mile, possibly even further.
Yeah, very nice. All right. Jag, Guthman, Chester on board there, drawn 2 nicely too. So looks a nice chance again. So race 1, Eagle Farm, race 1, Gold Coast. Looks like 2 nice chances for the stable to get the day kicked off in the right fashion. Gold Coast race 6, mate, is a 0.68 handicap over 1,100 metres. You've got 2 acceptors here. The first one's Nick the Skip, who's drawn 5. Tegan Harrison aboard. He's resuming after 2 nice trials. Put in a couple of stinkers at the end of last prep, probably just had enough, but his 2 trials back have been terrific. He's drawn well. He's won 2 out of 3 here on this Gold Coast track. But he is 0 from 5 first up, and he's never won at less than 1,200 metres. The other acceptor is Bafana. She's drawn 8, of course. Typical Bafana. She just can't seem to find any sort of gate outside of the one where she was the second emergency and was balloted out. But anyway, she's in there for the 2K Thoroughbreds team as well. She's got less experience than Nick the Skip, but she was terrific last time. She's third up. She's ready to peak, ready to win. It's just an awkward barrier.
Yeah. Yep. So Nick the Skip's first up, as you said, hasn't had any great first up form, but we've been fairly solid on him at home in work and put blinkers back on him. Forget about those last 2 runs of his last preparation. He was well and truly over the top. You can take him on the earlier ones, basically. He's going good. Blinkers back on to be fairly sharp at the 1,100. I would suspect he'd be just behind the speed in running, and then clear running from the top of the straight. Be hard to run down. Bafana is an interesting one if we decide to run her there tomorrow. Barrier 8 of 9 now. There's the horse that drew 10 is out. As I spoke to you earlier in the week, I was busting for her to get a run on Wednesday. I just thought that 1,050 metre race set up perfectly for her, and she's the veteran of 4 starts, but she's still a work in progress. We're trying to just really get her to switch off. Yet again, draws a crappy barrier, as is custom for her. So Anthony's going to need to just come out fairly steady on her and get cover pretty quickly and hope that speed sort of eventuates, horses like Sukoshi and that, next dimension. They should hopefully roll along and roll into it and set a decent enough tempo for her to relax and be hitting the line. It's imperative that she does settle, because we've seen before in her races when she doesn't, she's nowhere near as effective. So hopefully a good bit of speed on and she'll be hitting the line hard.
All right. Anyway, you're leaning there, or will it just depend on how the race maps out and what the speed's like up front?
Look, we'll just probably get Simon and Vince to have a look at the maps and sort of the leg speeds and that. And not entirely sure just yet. Obvious attraction to the Sunshine Coast is that it's a class 1,000 metres with the rail in the true. And she's obviously won at that track and distance. So that's an obvious attraction for Sunday, but we'll just have a look over the course of today and sort of make a call in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, sure. But in that race, you're leaning towards Bafana just being third up and being rock hard?
Oh, sorry. No, actually, I'd go Nick the Skip probably, purely for the fact that I think his racing manners are just a little bit better, and she's drawn horrible. If she drew soft, I'd reverse them because that
Yep.
would just enable us to really just flop out on her, and she would relax pretty quickly and then rip up to the line. He's just drawn that little bit softer. He's going to get a softer run. She'll be charging late, but she just needs to do everything right, and she's still sort of probably another couple of runs away from just completely spinning the bit and then being able to execute properly.
Yeah, understood. All right. Well, good luck to the owners there of Nick the Skip and Bafana at race 6, the Gold Coast. Race 7 is a benchmark 58 over 1,200 metres. My Diamond Girl, seen for the second time this preparation. It has a big number 9 alongside her last start. But I tell you what, it was a lot better than a typical 9th. She hit the line very well there over 1,000 metres for the Azapati Racing Syndicate. She's a 4-year-old mare by Foxwedge, up to 1,200 metres here. Should be able to settle a little bit closer from barrier 7, you think, and she probably a decent chance in this, Trent.
Yeah, I would agree. Ran 9th first up, but really it was always going to be too short for her. So she was only getting going the last sort of 50 or 60 metres, and was strong through the line. So just going to leave it to Tegan wherever she's comfortable in the running. I would suggest probably ends up just with her early speed, would end up in the first 4 or 5 fairly comfortably. And if she can secure an economical run from what is a little bit of a tricky barrier, then I think she can bowl these over. She's really improved since that first up run. She's not overly big. She's quite a small filly, but she looks great. Needed the run first up and has trimmed up, done super. So back in a right grade up to a right distance. Give her a good each way chance.
Yeah, nice. Be interesting to see what she opens up at, given she ran 9th last time. I can just see her map, Tegan bouncing her out, being positive as usual, and she should run a big race for Carol Walsh and the team there. So good luck to all the owners. Sunny Coast on Sunday, mate. Good 8 race card. We've got 5 acceptors across 4 races. Race 3, Paliki's drawn 13. I believe she won't run, and you'll save her for another day.
Yeah, no, she'll gallop in the morning, won't be running. We'll save her for next Thursday, hopefully draw a bit kinder. Hate kicking horses off first run of a preparation over terrible barriers. Try to give them as best experience as possible. So we can save her for next Thursday, it'd be 1,200 metre maiden.
Beautiful, mate. All right, let's look at race 5, open handicap, 1,000 metres. Looking forward to seeing Dream Master in this event. I thought he was terrific first up. Michael Cahill stays on. He's ridden him all his trials. He rode him last start. He's got a really good feel for what makes his horse tick. And, of course, he only just got caught late in the piece there last time. It was, I think Grant Morgan of On Track felt it was his best first-up run of his career, which is a really good sign for this preparation. He is drawn 8 of 8, but he rolls forward. And I suppose the only other question, mate, is the track. He's 0 from 3 at the track, the big long straight. Probably doesn't suit his front-running racing style either. But outside of that, the race looks like a really perfect in terms of the opposition, the distance, and being second up with Michael Cahill aboard with 56 kilos.
I wouldn't worry about his about the record at the track there. We ran him over 1,400 when we first got him. I think it was like nearly 3 years ago now. In a race there, and he just didn't run the 1,400 out. He actually raced good there at the start of the year, where he got beaten just less than a length in a no metro win from another terrible barrier. So I wouldn't be too worried about his record at the track there. 1,000 metres sets up well with him. Interestingly enough, goes back down to 56 kilos, which is a really good weight. He's obviously only carried sort of around this weight 56 once in the last 12 months or so. As far as I see it, some good speed again. The horse that led up the other day, Red X, that'll go forward. We'll probably look to get across. In fairness, both of those Toowoomba horses, Tony Sears and Nolan's Red X and Piracy, they should give us a good card across. all of us sort of speed horses have drawn 6, 7, and 8. And if we can camp off them, you can sit a little bit deep there at the Sunshine Coast. It's just that one straight run to the turn and then still be effective. So I would hope that we'd sort of just be trailing them in the run and peel off their backs late and get them down. He's gone ahead in leaps and bounds since his first up effort. His coat looked terrible, admittedly, before his first up run. So we went there obviously thinking he'd need it. He's sharpened up since then, in his looks and in his work. So certainly can't fault him, and hasn't won for a while, but I think we found a beautiful race for him to take the monkey off his back, so to speak.
Yeah, nice. Like the chances a lot there of Dream Master. Good luck to the on-track team there. Really deserving of a nice win. They also an open handicap wins. Looking forward to Sunday with him. Race 6 of Class 1 over 1,000 metres. Bafana's in this race, of course, as well. Drawn 11. We've discussed her. The 2K team there just can't strike a barrier with her, but she loves this track. She just runs enormous at this track, and I suppose she's going to have to be just dropped out anyway, and you might as well, if you're going to be 11 or 8, doesn't really matter. You're going to be dropped out the back and rely on upfront speed. The other runner in the race is number 1, Grand Zoo. Really interesting horse. Magnificent looking animal by Zoo Star. Shown a ton of ability as a colt. Didn't really want to put it together on the track. He's now been gelded, been given a good break. I know you've done not much with him. He's had a good break. He's had only the one trial back, mate. 1,000 metres first up.
So we're just going to have a look. Obviously, with him, we've had a wrap on him from here to Melbourne for basically his whole career, and he has failed to deliver. He's failed to deliver so far, I should say. That is a bit of a tricky gate for him, but he's going pretty well at home. So if we run, I think he'd be competitive, but we just need to get Simon and Vince to sort of have a look at the form and how he maps up. I'd be dead keen to just snag him because he can be a bit ignorant, and that's why I sort of thought kicking him off fresh, one trial over and then kicking him off fresh over the 1,000 metres would do him a lot of good, just to basically get him run off his feet a bit and educate him, and then let him improve into the preparation. But not sort of set in stone that he's going to run yet. He may even trial again on Tuesday. If he runs good speed in the race, in any case, Charlie Speen, Hinano, a couple of others, fairly quick horses. So he just needs to secure the right run, get cover, relax, and then hit the line and he'll let rip. But just unsure if we run just yet. Going good, follow wherever he goes.
Yeah, righto. Okay, very good. So look out for that. Again, just to come down to speed maps and how it all plays out, whether Grand Zoo and Bafana take their place there at the sunny coast. But if they do, they're both winning chances, that's for sure. Race 7, Class 1, 2,200 metres, fast dealer. Another ripping barrier here, mate, barrier 11. Robbie Frad, he's going to have to use his absolute best there on Sunday on a couple of these. Mate, he's ridden pretty negatively last time at the Gold Coast over a trip. He was never a winning chance. They sort of, kicked off the front and won, and he was way back and sort of made okay ground. Robbie did ride him 2 starts back when he was third at Ipswich, and he came from back that day and ran very well. Probably his best run of the preparation. Suitable race on paper. Just going to need luck from that barrier, mate. Does he have the gate speed to jump and put himself on the speed, or is he a horse that Robbie's just going to have to ride a little bit for luck?
Yeah, he does. I think when he won his maiden, he was over 1,800 at the Gold Coast. He was pretty close in run. I wish he drew a softer barrier. He'd be able to be used up and be there. I'd still like Robbie to try and be as close as he can, because I think in these type of races, once you sort of lose sight of the bunny, so to speak, just get way far back out of your ground, and a lot of them aren't good enough to make up, 10, 12 lengths up the running. So if he can ping him out and be sort of first half of the field, getting a soft run, I think he can win. Level of work at home is always quite solid, so his race record probably should be a bit better than what it is. But, few circumstances and probably a couple of faults of his own. When he was a little bit younger, he was very naughty and sort of doing things wrong, and that was costing him in the finish. So goes there well. Couldn't have him any better, to be fair, but I just want to see him do it.
Yeah, very good. All right, well, good luck to the Butts family there. He looks like a nice race setup for him, and be good to see him salute. That would be for sure. All right, mate, best bet for the weekend. Last week, you and Toby went for Mondina. He opened up at $5. Myself and Adzi, who puts the show together for us, we got in early, and I think he still ended up starting. He might have started, paid $4.40 or something on the tote. But anyway, it was a nice win. Thank you for the push there. What are you going to push this week?
It was about time. I think I was running at a fair few losses in a row, wasn't I? I'm going to say Fisticuffs. I think he's our best for the week. Obviously, people that watch this show would know that we've rambled on about him a number of times. So, second prep as a gelding, I think he's come back pretty darn well and going to take a power beating.
Very good. I see he's $3.50 there. I think at the moment, a couple of others, La Palmier, the favourite in that race at $2.50, and Materi, who Robbie Frad's on there, is $3.80. So those look like the three main hopes in the race. But good luck to the Fisticuffs owners, and good luck to those of you that decide to follow Trent in there. All right, mate, let's quickly run through our runners this week. It's been a good week, as we mentioned earlier in the show. Mondina, gee, it was a scary watch there at the Gold Coast as the best bet of the week. But, he sort of half missed the jump, couldn't go with them early. Then the front runners ran off on the track, and he had to sort of get going from the 1,000 metres. But, listen, he was just too good for them under Anthony there on Saturday.
Yeah, look, he raced super. I thought looked like he was going to really smash them and win by a bit of a space. I think the fella who takes photos, he was sitting on the outside fence taking photos of the horses coming up the straight, and there's a good photo online. The horse was actually looking straight at the camera. So whether he shied at that and his run sort of ended, I don't know, because it certainly looked like he was really going to race away with it.
Interesting.
And then he just held on. So it was heart and mouth stuff, and I was at Doom and I gave him a big cheer, but it was just good to see him finally win a race for Rob and Chris McNulty. He's a horse that's had above average ability and hasn't delivered as yet. So he's on the way now, and I'm sure there's another 2,200 metre race in a couple of weeks that he'll go around in and be competitive.
Yeah, big staying horse by Sebring, just coming into his own. So hopefully he can string a few together. Astro Boy Tour was terrific after a second up.
Yeah, I think we probably learned a lesson there with Astro Boy Toy. We were pretty concerned about the favourite sort of parking outside lead and getting a cheap time of it and kicking away. That we probably rode our horse against pattern rather than just ride him to his own strength where he would have settled. You'd notice in the run he was quite fresh, hadn't had a run for a couple of weeks, so he raced up into the bridle. And that just told in like the last 50 metres or so, he looked the winner basically every stride up the straight, and he just got collared. He's going to run next week, and he'll improve a stack out of that, shorter turnaround between runs, and I'm confident he can win again very shortly.
Up in distance too?
Yeah, 13.50 next Saturday.
13.50, perfect. All right, Faith and Love was also at the Gold Coast coming off a win. She ran very well. Again there, ran third. I'll let you talk us through that one.
So, yeah, she was good. Probably she did cost herself the race. Lugged in from about the 300 metres to a 100 out, basically, and I was dying for Anthony to try to pull the stick through the right hand and just give her one, and I think she would have straightened and got the job done. But that is what it is. Often when the rail's out, as far as it was last Saturday at home, the horses can do that. They sort of wander about a bit and get lost, and she was a victim of that. Step her up in journey now. She can go to 1,100 metres in the coming weeks. I think there was a race at Ipswich in about a fortnight's time, and I think she can win again pretty quickly. Stepping up in journey, certainly no hassle, and she's racing well. Probably should be 2 from 2 this prep, to be honest.
Very good. All right, Sunday Cool Intelligence made her debut.
Yep, she was okay. She's a filly by Nakoni for the 2K team who take great benefit out of that. She's had a couple of trials to get her ready, but she's still rather inexperienced. She's wanting to run away from the inside running rail. She's wanting to run away from horses. So I suppose race experience and maybe a set of headgear, whether it be winkers or blinkers or something, and a little bit further in journey. Looked like she was in a world of hurt at the top of the straight. Soldiered on to run fourth. I thought the last bit of her work was the best. Last sort of 100 metres of her race was certainly the best. Once she gathered herself in, got on the right leg and straightened up, she was a pass mark. Stepping up in journey next start in a couple of weeks' time, she'll be more competitive.
Very good. Doomben Wednesday took 3 runners there. Dollar Euro kicked us off. Disappointing. Got a nice soft run outside the leader.
Yeah, certainly was. On first thoughts was disappointing, but speaking to Glenn Morris, who owns this fella, he'd been in work since basically the start of December before coming here, and just had a couple of weeks freshen up here and there. So I would say that was his over the top run, and we've sent him out to the paddock for a spell.
Very good. All right, had a good preparation. Won his first 2 starts for you guys before that run, so that
Yep.
makes perfect sense. All right, and then Beach Break and Flatter took each other on in a 1200 metre Class 1 fillies and mares at Doomben, both nicely bred fillies, and they got the Quinella. Beach Break terrific first up, had the momentum down the outside, and Flatter made a run in between runners down the inside and ran, like I said, they ran 1-2 and they were both very good.
Yeah, look, I actually thought Flatter was the better of the two in that race prior to. I just thought she was third up, had a soft gate. Well, they both had soft gates, but she had a soft gate and would have just parked behind the speed and got the job done. They went along at a very frantic tempo. We really wanted Robbie on Beach Break to try and stay as close as he could in the run, because she's a filly that has not shown a great deal of early speed in the past. So that barrier one was extremely useful. He was able to hold Flatters back in the run, peeled out at the top of the straight. And obviously the field broke up a bit because they did go along at a really reasonable clip. And that enabled him to basically angle into the clear from the top of the straight. And it was pretty painless. She's a filly that's going to go through her grades pretty quickly, I would assume. And she's a filly that doesn't need a great deal of training. She's the biggest she's ever been, but she's still, by the same token, quite slight. So she's fit now. We don't need to do a great deal with her. Probably space her runs a little bit as well, and I think we'll get good results that way. She's one to watch for the future.
Very good, mate. All right. Well, thanks so much for your time, mate. Previewing those runners this weekend and also reviewing our runners. To all the owners watching, all the very best with your charges this weekend. We've got some lovely chances across those races. With a bit of luck, we could nail a few winners, that's for sure. For all the viewers, have a great weekend. Hope you back a few winners and look after yourself. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.